Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions movie reviews. I'm Arnie.
I'm Andy.
Today we're going to be reviewing Nobody.
No man.
Nobody. All right. So a brief synopsis of the film. Emmy winner Bob Odenkirk stars as Hutch Menzel, an underestimated and overlooked dad and husband, taking life's ingredients on the chin and never pushing back. A nobody. When two thieves break into his suburban home one night, Hench declines to defend himself or his family, hoping to prevent serious violence. The aftermath of the incident strikes a match in Hutch's long simmering rage, targeting dormant instincts and propelling him to a brutal path that will surface dark secrets and lethal skills. All right, Drew, I actually really enjoyed this movie. It had some problems for sure. Which I think we will talk about those more in depth in the spoilery section. We're going to begin this with a little bit of, non-spoilery goodness. But yeah, dude, I actually really like this movie. And I think the standout and what really makes this thing really work, Bob Odenkirk as a badass is quite believable. At least to my eye. What did you think about Nobody?
I loved it. It was great. It was exactly what we needed. And Arnie, as I was watching it, I thought, fuck, man, we need more of these. We once went on a rant about how the true grit action hero is gone from the movies right now, and there's only a couple actors kind of keeping it alive. And so adding Bob into this mix, I loved it.
Bob.
I love it. I love Bob.
Who
doesn't
so
love
good.
Bob?
Bob's great, dude. He worked so hard to get this movie done. I think this movie was created just by sheer will alone by Bob Odenkirk. So this was actually directed by the director of Hardcore Henry. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Okay, so I mean, the story is it's a little wonky, but the movie, you watch that movie just to watch it for the action and the kind of experiment of it. Hardcore Henry was the first person only movie, right? That was just about this guy who had special skills and just rampaged through Russia, trying to figure out his past because he had amnesia. But it was all first person completely the entire time. Some of the action in that movie was super inventive and really cool. And I think that action totally shines in this movie as well, right? I think that there were some amazing action set pieces that were just you breathe with them. You could actually see the action, right? They didn't do that weird thing that happened in a Liam Neeson movie where it took 15 shots to climb over a fence.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Bob Odenkirk totally sells that. He worked apparently for months to get in shape and to learn the fucking choreography and the martial arts of it all. And he fucking killed it, dude. I think he's a definite standout, and I think the reason this movie really works in a lot of ways. And there's definitely a lot of surprises in it. Let me ask you, how did you think about the story? One thing that I have to say about it is it for all the fun that this movie really is, it's very derivative, right? I don't think it's a spoiler to say this. It is quite similar to some John Wickness.
I was going to say, is it a spoiler if I compare it to John Wick?
Yeah, I really don't think it is.
I mean,
I don't.
So, Derek, I think his name's Derek Kolstad. He's the writer of this film, and he did, I think, all of the he's slated to do every John Wick movie that will ever be written.
Oh well. Yeah. Oh,
He's
that guy?
He's written John Wick Chapter 1 or Chapter 2, Chapter 3, and he's slated on IMDb to write 4 and 5 already.
Damn.
As if
who is John Wick going to fight? He's going to murder the planet by then.
He's already fought Boban, the Dallas Mavericks star center.
Oh my god, that's true.
The beginning of 3,
He fucking fights everybody.
I know, and I was trying to see, I just thought it was hilarious because I was trying to see which episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier this guy also wrote, and it was just the Power Broker episode, and I was great. So this guy they know what to get this guy for. You know what I mean? He obviously he's finding his niche very well.
For sure.
And this movie is not any different at all.
No, no.
I love though that like compared to that other movie, um, instead of like a dead dog, it's literally like a fucking bracelet.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. There's a lot. Yeah, there's definitely. It's yeah, like when you say it's derivative.
That's all
Yeah.
I'm going to say. I just didn't want to like say too much.
Yeah, yeah. We'll definitely get into some spoilers, but like, no, the story is it's very paint by numbers, almost the exact same as a bunch of those movies for sure. But I think like what this movie excels at, you obviously I've said it many times. Bob Odenkirk's the shit, and he really sells this movie. He's what he does well is that he's actually super believable, as a mild mannered guy, and you almost can't believe that he's doing what he's doing, but he's also like knocking it out of the park, and he's like fucking killing it. I think the cast is actually really good. There's a lot of very small characters. It's not really an ensemble piece. This is basically, I mean, you could tell the budget is very low. They use a lot of they use the house like 8 times for 8 scenes. It's like, it's very like it's a very small budget movie, very like not big in the world and stuff. But I think the actors that they choose to play all the different roles are actually really good.
I mean, I have to say Christopher Lloyd.
God,
is
yes.
like, holy crap. Christopher Lloyd's such a fucking badass.
Dude,
like Back to the Future. Like,
he doesn't look like he's aged, and I love that I didn't know he was in this movie. Because seeing him on the screen and like just being Christopher Lloydness, because he doesn't really play any other character but Christopher Lloyd, right?
Right.
But he's also a badass in this movie, and it's dope. It's dope because it's like it is exactly that. It's Doc Brown in an action John Wick movie with Bob Odenkirk. It was really nice, very nice to see him in this movie.
I love that, like, just while we're talking about cast, I love that, like, this movie is not one of those movies that, like, I didn't think, was going to be a moneymaker in the box office.
Yeah.
But I love that Connie Nielsen was in it because, like,
Yeah.
she's raking in the dough right now with all her Wonder Woman stuff and her Justice League stuff. I mean, like, they're printing money for her. And so, like, to see her in this, I was just like, okay, like, she didn't even need to do this. She's just trying to have some fun.
And she totally, honestly, her character adds a lot of depth to their relationship.
It does, right?
It's, that character is usually not very written. It's not very well written. It's not a very well written character that she usually has to portray. But no, like, their relationship is actually interesting. And, like, and we'll talk about spoilers why that is, but it really does play like there's a story there, and you can feel the tension, and it kind of like elevates the scenes that they're in.
It does, right? And like, how did you feel about the writing in general?
Look, I think the reason I kind of was highlighting the cast was kind of because I was kind of pointing to the fact that the writing is not very good. There's a lot here that happens just because it's a total accident, and it definitely, the stakes are kind of muted to me a little bit because of that. But the cast, Odenkirk's performance specifically, but really like the ensembleness of it, that just like the color that all the characters bring to it, and honestly, just the prowess of the action made this movie very fun and totally watchable, and totally worth at least a rent for sure. But yeah, the writing was not. I didn't think it was very good. Everyone, and I think that's kind of to the credit to the director and the producing team.
Yeah,
they brought in some really good talent to kind of just like really bring this, decent but not very well thought out script. But also like the fact that it's short really helps that aspect as well. You know what I mean? And it's definitely like a movie that knows when to end, right? We'll definitely go in spoilers again. But like the way that everything kind of ends up at the end, it just kind of feels like, all right, this was a good ride. We're going to crank it up to 11 again towards the end. And we're going to give you a bunch of whole wacky kind of Home Alone stuff. And then also kind of do a fun set piece with all the characters you already know and love. And then we're just going to bring this thing into an end. I think it's funny. Like, we should talk about the fact that I don't think it's also a spoiler to say this. A lot of Russians just all over this thing, right? It's totally in the trailer as well. But yeah, Russians totally used as a device again. I kind of think it's kind of boring at this point. They're always the bad guy, right? How did you think about the villain, the main villain? I forget the character's name, but he is very Russian, very Russian. I think he was all right.
I
He
think
wasn't very
his
menacing
name's
to
like
me.
Julian, but with a Y.
Yeah,
Julian.
Julian. Yeah,
Julian Kuznakistov.
yeah.
That
Like
was
he
probably butchered, but whatever.
totally. I think he was really good. But honestly, I didn't really feel that I was threatened by him. You know, he wasn't very menacing to me.
I mean, like I thought it was pretty cheesy. His introduction, like his
Yeah,
introduction is, I don't know, like basically in a club, and was like, man, you singing those songs is kind of gay, and then like literally was like, I'll show you gay, and then like finds the biggest dude in the room, attacks him, and I'm like, all right, like that was a little much. That was like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would just call that a little lame writing, but I was just like, whatever. It's part of it. It's part of it.
yeah,
It's good. I agree with what you said about the writing, but like at the same time, I'm comparing this more to like something like what I think we're gonna get with the Fast movies in the
okay,
future,
yeah,
and I'm like, it's not that bad.
for
Like
sure.
you know what I mean? Like it's not as bad as those, like as what I think Fast 9 is gonna be like,
Yeah,
because like some of those, like when we go over the top and stuff, and like that's what some of these studios like to make anyway. When we go over the top like that, it has to be ridiculous. And what I do like is that ridiculous factor, that like Bob Odenkirk wasn't just killing people. I'm just looking at this, like even this image that you posted, like one of these images that you used on our little border, is like he didn't just like kill him with a pocket knife or like something. Like he used like these really elaborate ways to like hit him with the bottle, and like kill him with like just random things that like you're like, he's not gonna it's not gonna be the old like pencil trick, like just like
yeah,
fucking hit him with the pencil. He was finding very unique ways to kill these guys, and I kind of like that part. And another element that I kind of liked that was part of this, and like you said, Bob Odenkirk like brings a lot to this, but it felt a little bit more Die Hard esque
yeah,
than John Wick. Like I get, like the premises are both the same.
yeah,
Look, I'm done with that. That was my old life, right? And something I like in the John Wick series is that like he's kind of angry. He's like, why are you trying to bring this out in me? You know what I mean? And like I didn't want this to follow the same path. Like, why are you bringing this out of me? I think that would have been a little bit boring, and I don't think it went that way. I really liked the way it went. It was more like everyone keeps. I mean, we've all seen the trailers. Everyone keeps calling me a pussy.
yeah,
Everyone keeps attacking me. My own son doesn't even respect me, and I've had enough. And like the breaking point is, to me, is so beautiful. He's just gonna keep going. He's gonna keep taking it. He's gonna keep taking it. And we know what movie we're watching, so like it's gonna happen eventually. But when you see him finally hit his breaking point,
yeah.
I laughed out loud. It was great.
For sure, for sure. I think this is appropriate time for us to just go full spoilery. So warning, warning,
Yes.
warning, spoilers, 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 spoilers.
There's blood.
Yeah, there will be, and there was. Dude, yeah, I think so. Like everything you said, absolutely, yeah. I kind of hit the nail on the head there. And I think, especially for everything you said was just basically about just how inventive this action was. I was really kind of super impressed with what I was watching here. Like it was very, very John Wick 3-esque, which if you've watched John Wick 3, way more than it was John Wick 1. John Wick 3 was fucking massive. It was huge. They like had whole city blocks that he went through. He killed like almost 200 people was the body count. But the pure action-esque, like just feats of action that was achieved here. It was more like a dance than it was an action movie, right? That's how I kind of liken it, because he was just moving through guys, and I love that now Hollywood is doing this thing where you are seeing all of the action all at once while it's happening. One take. We're not cutting. We actually want to see fluid movement. We actually want to see the blood and the gore and the fucking just brevity of it. I also really liked that here, unlike John Wick most of the time, Bob Odenkirk did get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely did. He like got pushed out of a fucking he got pushed out of a window once, and then he just got back up and got right back on the bus.
And it wasn't all. And there was a couple, but it wasn't all sacrifice plays. Like sometimes there's some sacrifice plays where you gotta. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of the Morpheus scene in Keanu, like in the Matrix, right? Where like he sacrifices himself to like. It wasn't all that kind of injury. It was like he was actually getting his ass whipped. Like,
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And he was definitely getting his ass whooped. Yeah, I like that. That was definitely different.
Yeah. What'd you think of RZA? Like, did you
Dude.
like RZA with that fucking wanted bullet shot at the end?
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to bring that up because it's like he even he even kind of mentions it. He's like in the car at the very end after after the credits, and he's like talking. He's talking to Christopher Lloyd about it, and he's like, "No way, you shot 3 people." And I'm like, I did it, old man." He's like, "I don't believe you," and he's like, "Well, it happened." And I'm like, because that sniper scene was pretty good. He's like, "Gotta save your old ass." It's like, great.
I love that it's never explained why he has a black brother. I love that. I love that. There are some. I got to give some credit to the writing here. There is definitely like small, like small moments in the plot and the story that are like really inventive and nuanced. His brother talking through him and over the radio, and him being the only person that really knows what's going on, and being like the audience foil for both that, and the fact that he whatever he was, I think that was really nice, and like really did like it definitely endeared the characters together. That you didn't really like care that you weren't really explained why what
Right.
who's the RZA, is he his brother? Okay, you know what I mean? Like it just felt like they actually definitely knew each other. And I love his introduction where he was like, "I gotta save your ass," and it's like, "Oh shit, there's the RZA out of nowhere." And also I think like the fact that the only reason you know he was his brother was because there was a picture of them together as kids with Christopher Lloyd. Like it was random and weird, but actually kind of fit and made sense. I like the RZA as much as I like Christopher Lloyd. It's like this like you wouldn't expect those people to be in those roles, but you also are all like, yeah, they totally fit in those roles for sure. I'm glad they brought Christopher Lloyd out of fucking retirement. I don't know where he's been. He looks like he's still spry. He kicked ass in this movie. I love like that too. Like this whole that also is completely not part of the John Wick place, where it's your family that's actually in on it, and like
Right.
they're teaming together. And they had their whole they had I have it on here on our border. They have their Avengers moment, and like when all the
Yeah.
Russians are rushing in. Oh, since we're talking spoilers, I watched the Chris Stuckman review, and he hit the nail on the head with the whole John Wick thing. He was like, "This is so much like John Wick. He even has gold in his basement."
It's good.
Dude, yeah,
I like the hiding place. That was a genius hiding place to me. I was like, oh yeah, like if you're just playing a pinball machine that doesn't need money, put it in the coin bank. I was like, that's
yeah,
genius.
100%, dude. Yeah, yeah. This was like it was a carbon copy of John Wick. Like it was like yes, there was like little like obviously it's a different story. It's a man and his family, and he's also got. This is actually more like a history of violence
Yeah.
and it really is like a like John Wick in the story aspect. But basically, the way the plot moves is literally the exact same thing. He breaks into the house. There's a kitty, but it's instead of a dog, it's actually a bracelet, a cat bracelet. But then
The
this is
cat bracelet is
this
just
this
like
is where the plot kind of falls apart for me, and why I can't like say like stupid dick. It's a really good plot and story. Like the fact that like we get to the point where he finds the bracelet, and then what happens in that whole scene, I totally get, still with it, still with the movie, and then you get to the random like half Russian, half white guys, that he just kind of fights on a bus for no reason. Like I get it, right? They're kind of being dicks, they're being assholes and stuff, but like they haven't killed the dog, they haven't actually really hurt anybody. They're just kind of being a-holes. And then he just kind of goes off. And then this whole plot happens with the Russians, and it's all not because of, they immediately hurt him. It's just because he just kind of went off on some dudes.
I know it like it and like what you said really did hit the point. It was like it all kind of happened by chance. Like these Russians like he doesn't even get the bracelet back. I think the aha moment of the bracelet is a little too late in the movie for me, where he's like, "Oh, that's where it was." You know, like I think that was a little too late because that was after way after when they all come to his house and he's gonna have to like it's after he even locks his kids in the basement. It's after
Yeah,
he sends his kids away, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little too late for the aha. Oh, here's the bracelet, and I'm like, no, man, but
yeah,
like, but the whole bus thing, I was just like, yeah, so they got in a car wreck because of the bus. They're drunk, and they're like, look, there's a bus. Let's get on this bus. And he's just kind of angry because he felt bad that he attacked these people who had a kid, and he knew they were desperate in the first place. And so
yeah,
like he just kind of felt bad, and I'm like, okay, so like you're just gonna take it out on these random Russians? I'm like, this sounds like it's gonna cause problems. Like I mean,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like this is obvious where the plot is gonna. This is what you think the plot building is because like it's gonna cause problems if you just start fighting random Russians.
Yeah, just random willy-nilly for sure. And like from there on, I was like, all right, I'm still with it. Like the action's great. Odenkirk's still badass. I still like the characters. I'm just not with the plot all that well right now. But I totally love the way everything was delivered. I honestly think that this directing is not bad. I think the directing is better than the writing.
Yeah, I'll say
There
that. Yeah.
were there, there were some super good moments. My favorite was the sequence when uh, the house is a mess. And he decides to leave the house to go fight the Russians, and he sets it on fire. That entire sequence I thought was fucking masterful. I felt it. I was with the character. It built with everything around it. And then it ends with him just taking, also again like John Wick, he's taking the badass car to go fight the bad guys. But that moment was really good.
I even like that part where he's about to unlock the door and he showers first
Yeah,
just because he doesn't want his kids and wife to see the mess. And like I thought he was gonna clean up
yeah,
because I was like, why would you want to show your kids that like you just killed them with the lasagna you just made? Like,
yeah.
and so I thought that was kind of fun. I thought another good moment that you kind of brought up earlier was like just some of the moments with him and his wife.
Yes, yes,
You know, like I thought those were like there was some strong fucking moments where he was just talking about his relationship, and you can tell that like his relationship with his wife and kid are just kind of what like he can't let go right now. Like he just wishes he could get back to like the old days because at
right.
least he was respected more with that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Then yeah, like yeah, for sure. Again, I think the performances and the directing probably, yeah, the way you said it, definitely better than the story and the plot. I would say for sure. I feel like there might be more of these. It's funny. I was looking up kind of reviews about this movie, and it's so like John Wick. There is a theory that it takes place in the John Wick universe,
I was gonna
and
say
it's
the same thing. I was gonna
yeah,
tell you the same thing. I was like, I stumbled across an article that was like, could Keanu Reeves, John Wick, and Bob
yeah.
Odenkirk's Nobody crossover? And I'm like,
I'd be
oh
in for
god.
it. I'd be in for it. I think that'd be fun, super fun. But yeah, it's just I can't like give it high praise for that fact alone. But I think there's some fantastic moments. I think the action's fucking worth it.
Yeah, I
I
have to
I
eat
really
what I said earlier, because like it turns out like that guy Kolstad, I don't think he's gonna be writing chapter 4 and 5. He actually will no longer write for the John Wick series, I think. And just reading that article, he was like he's crossing over because I think Lionsgate is one of the. I think Lionsgate is the John Wick franchise,
uh
and I forget who did this one.
I
Uh,
forget. I know it's the same producer as
yeah, but
well.
like it's two different studios, so they can't really cross over in the characters. So that's like one of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reasons why.
yeah.
But
Licensing. Yeah,
also, like Kolstad is like saying like he doesn't want to do any more John Wicks, and so like maybe he'll do more Nobodies.
baby.
But
I'd imagine there's money in it for him. And I'd imagine there's money in it for these kinds of projects for him.
this
Um,
sounds like something like where we've seen in a lot of other scenarios. I take back our review to it brings me back to like our review of Bad Boys, where like they just go for some young blood to kind of take on the franchise,
yeah,
the second episode of the franchise, just because like it's not necessarily that the first one did bad or anything, but like just getting new blood in there could kind of change the route that the franchise takes.
Yeah, give it a different feel. Just like Fast and Furious got Justin Lin to do Tokyo
Yeah,
Drift.
Justin Lin.
Justin Lin, yeah,
Maybe look at
100%.
Justin Lin to do this.
Dude, oh man, oh that would be so sick. Justin Lin doing Nobody 2. Oh, dude, and then Vin Diesel's the villain.
Yeah, for some reason, like we just get more people. Like, wait, why did we like Kevin Hart? We got Kevin Hart in this too. Like,
What? Okay, all right, Tay Diggs. Just a random ludicrous. I don't know what that would be. But yeah, man, I think we did it. I think this is a solid picture, man. I had fun the whole time, right? It's short. The performance is great. Directing's fucking fantastic. It's totally worth it. I honestly loved it. Besides the things that I said, honestly, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there was some. Like you said, there was some problems. I just wanted to mention the last thing I want to mention is like, can you believe Christopher Lloyd's 82 years old and he's still doing stuff like that? So, you know, like he was in his 50s. This guy's always looked old. First of all,
yeah, like, he's always had the ball patch and the white hair.
I know, and so like, this guy's always looked old, but like he's been kicking ass. He's even kicking ass in his 80s. That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, more Christopher Lloyd, bro. That's the one big takeaway. He was great. I love
I don't know if you watched the after credits, but it looks like they're going to somewhere in Mexico, and it like. It looks fun.
Maybe we'll get a sequel with RZA and Christopher Lloyd taking Mexico, taking on some Mexican drug lords. I would totally be into that. And hey, Netflix, you would make that movie. Netflix would definitely make that movie for sure.
Right? Yeah. Like. Excuse me. No, I think we did it, man.
For sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please like, subscribe, comment. What other movies would you like us to review as well? We are available on all streaming platforms for podcasts and the YouTubes. Kinetic Impressions movie reviews. Drew, what do we always tell the fine people? Tell the fine people. Sorry.
Go watch a fucking movie.
Go watch a movie. Thank you so much, guys. And I will be ending stream in 1, 2, 3, 4.